Welcome in, everyone. Just trying to get my settings ready for today. Um, I appreciate everybody for showing up. Hold on, let me send out my shares really quickly. Today, we're going to be talking about, let me get my points together, but we're going to be talking about the power of habit. And we're going to be discussing, hold on one second, let me send out my shares so you can have my full attention as I talk. Okay. But today we're going to be talking about the power of habit, and we're going to be discussing why it's so important to break free from the foods that we are currently eating and understanding how they are unaliving us, and understanding the shift that the world is going through and how we need to shift our habits to the same direction that the world is going. I'm not saying conform to the world and follow what everybody else is doing, but I'm saying is see the shift that the world is going through when it comes to our environment, when it comes to our food, understand the way that the world is suffering right now, and understand how things are ramping up far as struggles and diseases, and also tailor yourself to how you can remove yourself away from that, but also be along for the shift, if that makes sense. So you're not left behind, because there are plenty of people that are not understanding that if you are stagnant and stuck in the same pattern that you've been in, and that's kept you here, that has led you down this path of you being diseased, ill, not mentally stable, you have to realize the fact that at some point you have to change what habits you have in order for you to see a difference. Because the literal definition of insanity is doing the same exact thing and expecting a different result. And that's what majority of society is doing. They're expecting to eat the same way that their ancestors did, do the exact same thing that everybody else is doing, but expect different results because they feel that they're different than everybody else. They feel that they deserve something different, but they're not doing anything different. And so when you realize the fact that nobody is actually tapping into the fact that their body is able to heal itself, you realize that we have done ourselves a disservice all of our life with not treating our body correctly, being malnourished, and also poisoning ourselves with the foods that we eat, considering it actual food. When it's not food, it's just additives, fillers, a bunch of salt, a bunch of sodium, and a bunch of fat and sugars. That's all it is. Unhealthy fat, sodium, and sugar. And we sit here and we consume that and we think that that's food when that's not food. And they do that and they put this balance of these salts, these sugars, and these fats in our food, this balance of overload, so that we are sitting there not having a discerning thought, and our chemical balance in our brain is thrown off to the point where our body says, hey, I'm craving more because you're giving me dopamine because it tastes good. And so you're going to overeat. Hey, you're not going to know when you're full. So now you're sitting here with a stomach ache. Hey, my body has been telling me for years that I'm insulin resistant, but I don't know the signs of insulin resistance. So now you develop diabetes. Not realizing that you can enjoy foods that have sugar in them, natural real sugar, that are sweet, that are delicious, that are desserts, that don't have to have the toxic processed sugar that they give you from this brown sugar, from this white sugar. Even cane sugar is inflammatory when you eat too much of it. But when you eat this heavily processed sugar with this white sugar, this brown sugar, which brown sugar is just regular white processed sugar with molasses added into it to make it brown sugar. Heavily loaded sugar, you're eating pancake syrup instead of real natural maple syrup. Not realizing that this is how you lead yourself down insulin resistance and diabetes. This is how you are obese. We are in a crisis when it comes to our health, and we are in a crisis when it comes to us actually knowing how to take care of our body, raising a bunch of generations that don't know how to take care of their body. And we're not realizing that we are truly in a crisis. We're not understanding how deep this crisis is truly manifesting itself. Goodness, I have something on my desk I need to wipe off. And so you have to understand that the way that this world is shifting, you are either going to be left behind with the people that are doing the same thing that everybody else is doing in this box of that is normal, where everybody is ill, everybody is sick. Or you are going to shift into the programming of understanding that you have to reprogram your habits. You have to change the habits that you have. And it's time for you to start to realize that eating meat and eating dairy has led us down a generation after generational curse of being overweight, being diabetic, insulin resistant, and mentally unstable. When you really put that together and realize the fact that everybody is sitting here doing the same exact thing, expecting different results, you'll realize very quickly that we have been programmed to do the exact thing and not question anything. We have been programmed to not change our habits. We have been programmed to eat meat. We have been programmed to eat dairy. Because when somebody puts something in a show, for instance, let's say a show, a TV show, when you see the person that is vegan, you always see them with a salad and some green juice. Something that nobody that eats meat or dairy or anybody in general really wants to eat every single day. So when you see the picture of health, that's what you see. Green juice, salad, a whole bunch of things that you don't want to do. But if they really tapped into the potential of what plant-based can do for you and actually show you how you can eat delicious meals, you'll sit there and you'll look at that and you'll be like, that looks like meat. Is that not me? When they actually start to show you what it's like to live plant-based, people will start to reprogram their mind to realize you're not just sitting there eating a salad all the time. You're not just sitting there drinking green juice all day. You can go raw. You can drink your green juice. You can do all of that. I still eat and drink my plants and my vegetables or whatever else if I juice. But I'm not sitting here doing that every single day because that's not what I want to eat every single day. When I crave a burger, I'm going to make a black bean burger. When I crave chicken, I'm going to make chicken. If it's fried, if it's baked, whatever it is, I'm going to make it. And I know how to make it in a plant-based form because I actually gave it a chance. I actually figured out how to tailor my lifestyle to what I want to do for myself. Everybody else fits themselves in this box. Even vegans, they fit themselves in this box of everybody else does this, so I have to do this. Everybody eats tofu, so I have to eat tofu, right? Thanks for the follows. No, you don't. I don't eat tofu. I don't eat soy. I don't consume any soy. Soy causes estrogen dominance in your body. Regardless of what studies you have seen, and people on TikTok telling you that soy does not cause estrogen dominance, it causes no problems in the body because it's a natural plant estrogen. Understand that just because it's a natural plant estrogen, that does not mean that's the natural estrogen that you produce in your body as a woman and a man. That is not the natural estrogen that you need inside of your body that replenishes the estrogen. If you're a woman who has progesterone dominance in your body that needs natural estrogen, for a woman that is estrogen dominant, you still need natural estrogen to counteract the non-natural estrogen that is harming your body. And I'm speaking as somebody who is estrogen dominant. I was estrogen dominant to the point where it used to almost take me out every single cycle. And I'm going to lose people on that fact because I talk to people about that all the time. And they want to argue their opinion over facts. And they say that they read one article and so now they know everything about soy and estrogen dominance and everything else. But when I offer to send them an article, when I offer to send them information that is outside of just one article that has a scientific journal that they actually have to read through, I get crickets. They don't say anything else. And that's my point. Everybody is so ready to conform to the programming, but you don't want to realize and to shift into what you need for you to actually change. So this is for the people that are here that actually deserve change, that want change, that are looking for change. It's time for us to first realize the fact that healing starts with you using food as your medicine. Healing starts with you realizing the point that we have to paint a picture that is actually realistic to what will work for you. Not everybody wants to drink green juice. Not everybody wants to juice all the time, every single week. Not everybody wants to sit here and eat a bunch of salads. That is understandable. But if you want healthy healing, you have to do a combination of figuring out how to cook the favorite foods that you love, figuring out what times you're going to cleanse and you're going to detox, and you have to do this regularly. It's not that difficult. It sounds harder than what it is. And you have to start educating yourself on what the foods that you are currently eating and how they're harming you. Because I can guarantee you, if I go in your pantry, if you book a one-on-one with me right now, and we look through your pantry will be bare by the time that we end the call because you are not eating the way that you need to be. You say your cycle started getting worse at the age of 33. Speaking straight facts. Straight facts. Straight facts. My cycle was terrible all of my life. And let me tell you, the only time that my cycle ever gives me a problem now is when I eat too much sugar. I come in contact with soy. And when I'm sitting here overloading myself with a bunch of toxins and I don't cleanse regularly. These women are out here suffering from PCOS, fibroids. You're sitting here dealing with all of these infertility issues, heavy painful menstrual cycles. And you're sitting here dealing with obesity and weight fluctuation and everything else, and you don't have to. You don't have to deal with that. You first have to realize that what you've been eating has been poisoning you. I saw this amazing TikTok And we'll get back on the points of topics of what we were talking about today. But I saw this amazing TikTok of this woman talking about Church's Chicken. And as Black people, we really, truly are not understanding how these companies are programmed to poison us. How these chain restaurants, chain fast food places are programmed to poison us. They were literally established off of poisoning us. And she was talking about how Church's Chicken back in the day, and this older Black man was talking to her at her job or wherever else she was working, talking about the fact that Church's Chicken was originally designed in the beginning was for only Black people. Only Black people ever ate at Church's Chicken. All the other chain food restaurants were made for people of other color. She was talking about the fact that the Black man was talking about how Church's Chicken changed their food to make every single Black person that ate there infertile. I couldn't get the word out. Infertile. Now, I have not looked up the actual chain of events that have led them there or what their history is. But it's really true fact about the fact that these companies do know how to poison you correctly without you realizing that they're poisoning you. Without you really sitting there and being able to pinpoint, how in the world did I get sick? How in the world did I get fibroids? How in the world did I get cysts? So make it make sense on how the fact that we keep eating and giving money to these people that are poisoning us, knowing that they're poisoning us. Because it's not a question of the fact of if they're poisoning us. It's the question of the fact of who is poisoning you. Who is the main source of all of these companies? Who is the umbrella that's on top of the umbrella that links all the way down? Because all of these companies are in these same companies of umbrellas. The same thing of how you know your TV networks are under an umbrella and all these networks are owned by whatever it is. Make it make sense. Make it make sense of how we are sitting here dealing with all of these issues that and struggling when we wouldn't have to if we just realized the fact that we are not eating correctly. If we really sat here and dialed back our consumption and started to really sit here and establish the fact that, okay, the habits that I have obviously have not led me to a healthy lifestyle. What habits do I have? Writing down those habits and figuring out where you've been at, what your grandma, your mom, whoever has diabetes, what habits they have and how you both have these similar habits. You tie them together. You'll start to pinpoint where it comes from. You'll start to pinpoint how in the world you have type 2 diabetes running through your family. You'll start to pinpoint how every single woman in your family has painful menstrual cycles and sitting there insulin resistant. How every woman is iron deficient. You'll really start to pinpoint, thank you for these gifts, and you'll start to see how these terrible habits have been passed down generationally. The terrible habits that you have led you here to having diseases and illnesses. It does not run in your family. They keep telling you and programming you to believe that it runs in your family so you don't think there's anything that you could do about it. There is a reason why that we sit here and we say that, oh, it's tradition, it's culture, and we keep doing the same thing. It's because we have been programmed to believe that these things are going to run in our family regardless of what we do. There's nothing we can do about it. We're going to be poisoned regardless of what we think, regardless of what we do. When that's not the truth. If you learn how to take care of your body and educate yourself on how you haven't been taking care of your body all of your life, you'll start to really realize and to take yourself out of the programming and start to realize this box of normal, following these food pyramids, following these my plates has led you here. That has led you down this path of being unhealthy. It has led you down this path of not knowing how to take care of your body. It has led you down the path of not realizing the fact that when you go outside and you look and count 3 adults, out of every 3 adults, one of them is diabetic. And that's CDC fact. That is a fact from the CDC. You will not get banned for that comment because that's public knowledge. They know that. They don't care that you know that our foods are banned in other countries. Because at the end of the day, are you going to change and stop eating it? That's. I'm not saying that directly to you, but that's everybody in the chat. Are you going to stop eating it? And they know that majority of people, their chemical balance is so off, they're not going to stop eating it. They know that the fact that people are so chemically imbalanced with their cravings and the foods that they view as actual food, that you're never going to stop eating it, regardless of the fact that you learn the fact that our food is banned in other countries. Red dye, yellow dye, blue dye. Because you see it as something that it's okay because it's backed by our government. So even a little bit is still okay. Not realizing that in children, it causes behavioral issues because it throws off their chemical balance mentally. It gives them developmental issues. So that's why you see kids backslide when they get on regular normal food of actually eating, eating instead of just doing their purees and things. When kids start eating and you see them hitting different milestones and all of a sudden they backslide when you start giving them certain foods. But we think that it's something for you to introduce to them if they have a yellow dye or blue dye or a red dye allergy, so then they can get rid of the allergy. Not realizing that is literally their body telling you, I do not need to have this. It's not the same thing as a child having a peanut allergy. It's not the same thing as somebody having a bee allergy. That is their body telling them, I do not need this dye. And the government is allowing your child to be poisoned with dye. The same thing with you. You sit here and wonder why you're fatigued, why you're fogged. You sit there and wonder why you have no energy. But you go and you eat Swedish fish, you eat hot chips, you eat your hot Cheetos that are filled with red dye. Those are chemicals. And if you do not know this, dyes like red dye, yellow dye, blue dye that's in your food, it also dyes your internal organs as you eat it. So as you're digesting, your intestinal tract is turning red, yellow, blue. Your gut is turning red, yellow, blue. Do you think that's normal and that's safe? Do you think it's normal, the fact that these coroners are doing autopsies on bodies and they're seeing the fact that there are people that are, for instance, I'm 26 years old. Their organs are 3 times their actual age. So that means if I was not taking care of my body, learning how to support my body, that means my organs would be in their 50s. My organs. So think about the fact that if you've been poisoning your body all of your life, if you're insulin resistant, if you're diabetic, if you're overweight, that means you overconsume. You put yourself in fight or flight mode because insulin resistance is you spiking your insulin, spiking your sugar every single day. That means you have put your body in such a crazy state that it's panicking. And now your organs are working overtime. Now your organs are 3 times your actual age. And that's fact. You can look that up. Coroners are literally reporting this, and our government's saying nothing about it because it's not a crisis to them. What is a crisis to them is them making sure that they hit this $1 trillion profit by 2030 that they're projecting on people being diabetic and overweight. $1 trillion off of you being diabetic and overweight. That's all they're worried about, is how much money they can make before you sit here and realize the fact that you can heal your body. Because this whole wave of people telling you, hey, you can heal your body naturally, you can use holistic medicine, you don't have to sit here and deal with pharmaceuticals, is their enemy. And so what are they going to do to combat the enemy? They're going to start giving you more chemicals to throw off your chemical balance. They're going to start feeding you more junk. They're going to start making more foods on there that say veggies and fruits, and give this to your kids. Make them with prettier colors. Make them with more characters. It's marketing. And you don't have any discerning thought to sit back and realize the fact that, hey, I need to learn how to read my labels. Hey, why have I been taking this prescription on my life and all I have to do is keep upping it? Why am I not healing? Why has my doctor never said to me I can heal? These are the questions that you need to start to formulate and actually answer for yourself. And when you can't find the answer, the reason why is because you have been programmed to believe this. This is not your actual thought from your being, from yourself that was given to you by the Most High. Because the Most High tells us in Romans 12:2 that we should not be conformed to this world, but we should be daily renewing our mind so that we can see what is pleasing and good to Him. Do you think it's pleasing and good to Him to see us out here not being able to work out? Us sitting here obese, us sitting here diabetic, us sitting here mentally unstable on this earth, because there's so many people that are mentally unstable on here and don't realize it? Do you think it's pleasing to Him to see His people being treated as a dollar sign and not an actual person? Do you think it's pleasing to Him that we don't even know how to eat correctly? And I'm speaking as somebody who spoke to Him and begged and pleaded and asked, why in the world am I struggling and suffering the way that I am at 20 years old? Why was I having knee pain in 5th grade? I wasn't even in middle school, and I was wearing 2 knee braces. As active as I was, because I was an active child all of my life, how was I that big, yet I was active all of my life? Why was I always hungry? As I started to ask these questions and I started to change my habits and started to realize the fact that the Most High was speaking to me directly, saying to me, the reason why is you've been malnourished all of your life. Your family has taught you this. Your peers have taught you this. Eating this junk because you're young is okay, is what we're taught. And that was my mindset, because I'll change when I get older. I'll change when I get older. But my health was declining. I was told that I was going to have a knee surgery by 22. By 22, I was going to have a knee surgery. Here I am speaking to you, 26 years old. I have no more knee pain. I don't have knee pain. I don't have to have a knee surgery. I had asthma. I developed that in high school. I haven't had an inhaler in over 3 years. I have been plant-based for 4 years. If you are suffering from any issues, I can guarantee you it's stemming from inflammation, because that's where that knee pain was coming from. That's where that asthma was coming from. When you are obese, you are heavily inflamed. That's a cause from inflammation, because when you are overweight and you are having weight fluctuation, I hope you realize that weight fluctuation is your body telling you that there's toxins build up, toxins store inside of your fat cells. Toxins make you inflamed. Do you see the full cycle? Do you see the full circle in the full cycle? When you were inflamed for so long, built up with toxins for so long, you develop diseases like insulin resistance. You develop diseases like type 2 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes undealt with leads you to type 3. Type 3 undealt with, even though they say that it's not scientifically proven, even though they have plenty of people to show you, when you develop type 3 diabetes, it's more likely than not you're going to have Alzheimer's. So do you want to lose your mind over you sitting here loving the food that you're eating right now because it tastes so good to you, because you're so chemically imbalanced? Or do you want to sit here and realize and have a discerning thought and sit back and say, I will no longer poison myself with these foods just because they taste good? I can find good tasting food in other companies that do not poison me. And I'm speaking as somebody who has done it. So it's not like you can say, oh, it's so difficult, it's so hard. It took me 3 months to go plant-based. It took me 3 months. The first 3 months, I thought I was vegan. The first 3 months, I thought I was going vegan. The first 3 months, I started weaning myself off of different things. In the first 3 months, I really was categorizing myself as vegan, so I started buying vegan products. I never ate anything Impossible. I never ate anything Beyond. Even in the beginning, I knew that was terrible. But I was buying like Morningstar Farms, I think that's what it was, or whatever it was. And it had soy, it had a whole lot of yeast, it had a whole lot of additives, a whole lot of fillers. I wasn't cooking as much from scratch because I was learning. I had a whole lot of obstacles in the beginning, realizing that Morningstar Farms has products that has eggs and dairy in it. I want to help people to realize the fact that the problem is deeper than just you not realizing what a healthy lifestyle looks like. The problem is the fact that we are literally targeted. The same way somebody is targeted when they target audience for marketing, when they're saying, hey, this is marketed to kids, so we're going to tailor this to kids. That's the same way that everybody is targeted when it comes to food. It's not just that, oh, it's a pretty picture. Oh, it's just something for you to look at. That target is, how can we make you eat more, crave more, so you go and buy more when you overconsumed it all week and you're like, I have to have my fixins. And how can you sit here and not have a discerning thought to realize the fact that we have thrown off your chemical balance to the point where you don't even crave real whole foods or fruits and vegetables anymore? I'm saying this as somebody who was there. I very rarely ever craved any vegetables. I only ever craved broccoli and asparagus before I went plant-based. I very rarely craved any other fruits besides strawberries, blueberries, and oranges. That was the only 3 fruits that I ate. Which I don't like eating apples by themselves, but I hated eating apples. Like when I say I hated eating apples, like that was just something I did not like, but I loved apple juice. But when I started to really sit there and be like, how can I hate apples if I love apple juice so much? Look at the card and flip it around. Boom. It's not real apple juice. That's why. I got a juicer. I started making real whole apple juice. Real apple juice. No sugar added, no nothing. It tastes just like the crap that they give you on the shelf. Just like the crap that they give you on the shelf. But when you look at the crap on the shelf, it's made from concentrate. It's full of different sugars. Even the ones that say all natural, no added, whatever, what is it called? All natural, no artificial. Let me break this down to you. When they say something is all natural, no artificial, that's because they take the natural product. Let's say it's an apple. They take the apple. They do a chemical study on it. So they take it and break it apart in its chemical dynamic of its study. Then they sit here and they take this apple. They extract all of the taste, all of the nutrients. They move the nutrients to the side because it's not going to give you what you need. It's not going to give them what they need for your chemical balance. Now they start to play with it. How does this taste just like this? How can it taste like the natural apple? How can we get X, Y, and Z to do like this? Once they get it to the point where it's like, okay, they do the studies and they're like, this tastes just like apple juice. I love this. I feel like I can down the whole thing. Let's put it out in the market. See how everybody acts. They do a couple of trials and tests. This is how Juicy Juice got their name. This is how V8 Juice got their name. This is how these companies make billions of dollars. They do these studies and tailor them to your chemical balance so that you crave more and don't realize that there's no natural goodness inside of the things that you're drinking and eating. And I did this study in middle school. I did this study in middle school. To this day, it stuck with me because I did a science study. I did a study for a science project, for one of my classes in middle school on natural versus artificial sugars, natural and artificial flavors, natural and artificial flavors. I did this in middle school. I'm 26 years old. That study has forever stuck with me because I went on a deep dive and I was telling my teacher like how deep I got into it. I was like, I had to stop looking up articles because of how much scientific journal, like how many scientific journals I had read. How much I had gone through and seen how deep it goes with our government not caring about artificial sugars versus natural sugars and how it's not regulated. Because that is fact for fact. They don't regulate natural sugars, artificial natural flavors. They don't regulate that. They just have to make sure that you label it correctly. Did you get it from a natural source, aka chemically extracting what you need from this apple? Or did you get it from an artificial source of just completely taking away from the natural remnants and just only using chemicals? You can't tell the difference from the taste because both go through a chemical process. It's just a matter of, do they use the actual natural DNA of the apple when they extract it in the beginning, or do they just start from scratch, straight chemicals until it tastes like an apple? So when you really sit here and realize the fact that the problem is deeper than just you not knowing what a healthy lifestyle is, but rather the problem is the fact that they have enough information out there for you to realize what they're doing, but you don't have the education because you don't either have enough time or you don't care. I give you plenty of education here from my past lives that I post on YouTube. There is no reason for you to not realize what they're doing and for you to start shifting and changing. There's no reason for you to not realize the fact that this world has shifted towards poisoning you rather than just making money and making sure that everybody's fed. Because if we were making sure everybody was fed, we wouldn't have anybody hungry in the streets. Let's really just break that down. If like how this 2030 agenda is where they put on here, thanks to the follow guys, this 2030 agenda that they're talking about how we're not having enough food being produced, so they're trying to make edible plastic because we have an overpollution of plastic, and how they're trying to make more sustainable food, so that's why they're rolling out more GMO meats. If we truly were not having enough food to sustain the people in the number of population that we have on this earth and we were overpopulated, don't you think that they would start requiring all of these places, like they're throwing up these apartments and all of these homes that have acres, to start having gardens on their land? Wouldn't you think they would start requiring that? Don't you think that they will require farmers that have an overproduction of food, instead of burning crops and getting rid of them, don't you think that they would start making them donate? Don't you think they would make that a requirement? All of this stuff that they have laying around that they throw away, don't you think they would start making it a requirement for people, businesses, all this other stuff to start donating food? But it's not a requirement because that doesn't make them any money. What makes them money? I know. Let's make a new fake food. I know how I can make money. Let me make you a fake food that is going to make you inflamed, make you chemically imbalanced, and then it's going to make you crave it more because like I said, we go through this chemical study in a lab to make sure you crave it more. I'm not saying this to scare anybody. I'm not saying this to fear monger. I'm not saying this to make you feel like all food is poison, because it's not. The foods that you're choosing is poison. The foods that I choose are not poison. The foods that I choose don't make me ill. The foods that I have chosen for 4 years has allowed me to deal with my weight fluctuation, no longer be asthmatic, no longer have knee pain, no longer sit here and have anxiousness, sit here and have panic attacks, sit here going in and out of depression episodes. The foods that I choose give me nourishment. But that's because this is the lifestyle that I choose, because I choose to take care of my body. I chose to go down a different route than everybody else is doing. I stopped believing in these my plates and these food pyramids. They're telling you to feed your child 2 to 3 sources of dairy every single day. Your child. Knowing that dairy causes inflammation. Knowing that dairy has its own different type of, not chemicals, what is it called? Not chemicals, what is it called? What is it called? Hormones, that's the word, hormones. Regardless if it says on there no hormones added, you have to realize that when you produce milk as a woman and you are breastfeeding a baby, you produce natural hormones. You didn't have to add anything in there. You didn't have to sit there and concoct something in the kitchen and add in hormones so your child can get everything they need. So what do you think that baby calf and their mother are communicating? Because you know when you're breastfeeding a child, you're communicating. The child does not have to speak to you. The child cries, you start lactating. The child gets near you, you start lactating. The child gets sick, you lactate a different color. So what do you think? That cow that is unhealthy, the calf that is unhealthy, because I can guarantee you these cows that you were eating and consuming and drinking their milk are not up to health as best as they could possibly be, regardless of how they say that they raise them humanely. You have to understand that cows are in distress. They're being slaughtered. They're being kept in a cage. They're not actually free range. They tell you that your cows are free range, grass fed, but you can look up how they're free range grass fed. They keep them in a contained area. Sometimes they even strap them down with their neck and throw grass at them and feed them that way. Do you think that's humane? Do you think that's comfortable? Do you think that that's something that you would not be stressed out about every single day? Or the fact that they don't even keep their calves with their mother. They feed them alternate milk. So that calf is not even getting the milk that they need from their mother from the beginning. Raised up in distress, and you think that your cow is healthy and that your child needs the milk that comes from that cow. The same thing as all of those hokey pokeys. People are so deceived. The truth is that you rely more on food than you rely on discernment. You rely more on taste than actual food, because let's stop calling that food. Y'all rely more on what this government tells you that you need to do for you and your child, knowing that they're poisoning you. Make it make sense how you know that they're sitting here poisoning you, yet you keep doing what they tell you to do. I don't know about y'all, but I can say this. When I was a child, if there was an adult that said one thing but did another, I didn't listen to them. Did you? When you had a teacher that said like they want order, they want to be strict, they want everybody to listen in their classroom, but then they tried to be your best friend and kiki with you and then turn around and try to be strict, did you listen to them? And I'm not talking kiki like, oh, this is a fun class, I love this. I'm talking about kiki they tried to be your friend. No, you didn't. I had a teacher just like that. She had no order in her class. So you look at the U.S., you see the government, you see how we are. We have no order, but they try to kiki with us. They try to have these celebrities come on TV and endorse all these people for this next election. And I think it's so funny because y'all feed into it. Eat it up. But you don't sit there and look at these people and say, these are the same people that are poisoning me with this food that they're approving. Isn't that crazy? These are the same people that are sitting here telling me that I can eat titanium dioxide and sodium phosphate. These are the same people that listed on their official website that citric acid is made from black mold. But I'm not supposed to have black mold in my home, right? Because it literally makes you ill. But you can put it in my food. You have to start realizing the fact that you are not making any discerning choices when it comes to the foods that you eat and the way that you consume. You have no discerning thoughts when it comes to the chemicals that you are using in your home. You get your Pine Sol, you get your bleach, you get your Lysol, you get your Fabuloso, and you load your house down with a bunch of chemicals to wipe your home. Bleach does not actually clean. It does not kill the bacteria that you're trying to kill. It just moves everything around and makes the surface look pretty. But the bacteria on the surface level is still there. My dog is throwing her ball at me to get me to play. I've been playing with her. I've been laying with her. I've been cuddling with her. And she still wants attention. I don't know what you want, ma'am. I don't. Go get it. Thanks for the follows. So you have to understand that. Oh, I'm not done with that point, actually. Because I was about to move on, but I'm not done with that point. Realize that throws off your chemical balance. You are breathing in all of these chemicals. I know, for instance, in my home, when I was growing up, we used to put Fabuloso on the stove to heat it up just to make it smell good. Pine Sol on the stove to heat it up to make it smell good in the house. You are heating up chemicals. You're breathing in bleach. You're wiping down surfaces. If you go into the bathroom, and we all know this, I was one of the kids who tried this. You go in the bathroom, you go start cleaning up, you close the door. You cannot be in there for more than 5 to 10 minutes of cleaning in that bathroom, because if not, you're going to pass out, correct? You can't be breathing in those chemicals with no airflow, correct? We don't have a window in my bathroom. Some people do, but we don't. So you can't be in that bathroom because you will pass out. Just because it's not that strong in your home because you have an airflow going through your house does not mean it's still not as dangerous. That's just as dangerous as you being in that bathroom with no window, no circulation. Understand the fact that, yes, it's so easy for you to make other ways for you to sit, but that's the point. They were taught this way. This is what's clean. This is how you are clean. But they are also doing autopsies on bodies, and they're seeing the fact that these people are sitting here smelling like Febreze and Lysol in their liver. Their liver is smelling like Febreze and Lysol. My best friend, her mother developed asthma she was a hairstylist all her life. She developed asthma from breathing in bleach because she's a hairstylist. Yes, it's a different bleach than what you use in your home to clean, but it's the same chemical. like it's like we don't put two and two together. We don't. You cannot sit there and consume these chemicals that are in your home because you will be poisoned. You will unalive yourself. But the things that I use and what I teach you if you are in my program to use and to do for yourself, all of it's non-toxic. Your dog, for instance, if you have pets, can't be around all these chemicals that you use around your home, all these sprays that you use for bugs, all these different things. They even tell you that your dog is not supposed to be around essential oils because it can cause issues. My dog has never, ever been exposed to all of these chemicals that they try to get us to use on our animals, because I don't have any children, but this is my baby. She has essential oils in all of her products. I make her bath wash. I make her toothpaste. I make everything for her. Her food. She does not eat dog food. I don't eat all this crap that people are eating. I make my own body wash. I make my own toothpaste. I make my own mouthwash. Yes, it hasn't been all of my life, but the past 4 years, I've been doing this for myself. Understand that they have taught you to do these different things. Understand that they have taught you that you have to use all these chemicals to clean your home, that you have to use bleach to have everything sparkling white and clean. The only time I ever use bleach is when I cannot get a white outfit clean. And when I tell you that's the only time that I use bleach, that bleach that is in my home, I don't even buy it. It's been there. It's been there. When it's gone, I won't even use it. But it was there. And that's the only time. And when I do bleach something, it goes through several washes. It's not going to get bleached and then put on my body. I don't use this detergent and then put bleach with it and put it on my body. It gets bleached, a little bleached, and then it will get washed several times after that. So I can make sure I have no bleach coming in contact with my body, because these are hormone disruptors. You are sitting out here dealing with all these hormone disruptors every single day. The same way how people go in and they paint homes and they deal with hazardous stuff and they wear hazmat suits and masks. That's what you should be doing if you're cleaning your home with these chemicals. Not just wearing gloves because you don't want your nails dirty, because you don't want to smell like chemicals, because you want to eat afterwards. See, that's the thing. I only use bleach if it's that bad. I usually use vinegar. That's one of my things that I put in my detergent. That's why I say I only rarely ever use bleach if I literally cannot get it clean. I usually wash the item that is white or whatever else color it is that I need to. Well, it needs to be white. That whatever item it is, it won't come out, because usually I can get it out with peroxide and white vinegar, no issue. But if it literally is like, for instance, a white tank top that is turning yellow and I cannot get it to go back white, I will bleach it. That's why I said rarely. I don't just bleach because, oh, there's a stain on it. I bleach because it's literally not going back the color that I need it to be. And so that's why I say I very rarely. And I'm just saying that to you, not to be like, oh, see, she still uses chemicals and she's talking about it. But I'm just showing you, I'm realistic. I'm not delusional. I'm not crazy. I'm not sitting here being like, oh, dispel all of this stuff and acting like I'm perfect, because I'm not perfect. I'm not saying that I've never sprayed a chemical in my home since I've learned about all the things. But I don't use Febreze. I've never sprayed Febreze. Since I have learned about how deadly these chemicals are, I don't use Febreze. I don't use bleach to clean unless, like I said, unless it's literally something I cannot get the spot out of. And that's not for me to, oh, get rid of the germs and to disinfect the area. It's literally just to get it to clean and look like sparkling bright, brand new. Because that's all bleach does. And that is literally, there's plenty of scientific journals, there's scientific articles. If you're on my email list, I've sent you the article and the information that was inside of it. If you are not on my email list, you need to get onto that, because that's what I send you every single Wednesday. We send out wellness information and tips in scientific journals to show you what is happening, to allow you to realize the fact that you should not be sitting here putting these fragrances on your body. Thank you for saying that, because that's my point too. I stopped using perfume a while ago. I make my own perfume as well. I stopped using perfume a long time ago. And for everybody that sits in here and worries about like, oh, I'm not going to be able to smell good if I go this route. The only reason why people stink so bad that they do is because you're built up with crap. The same thing about how animals, like pigs, for instance, are outside. Pigs smell awful. Pigs smell awful. What do pigs eat? Crap. Tons of crap. They eat a whole bunch of crap. They don't eat any real food. They sit there and they eat whatever is given to them and digest it. They have no pores to expel what is going on because they don't sweat. They don't sweat. So really sit there and break that down, how an animal smells that bad, but they have no way to sweat. And you sweat and you still smell bad. You are built up with toxins. You are inflamed. Your intestinal tract, your digestive system is not functioning at full capacity like it needs to for how much crap you're putting inside of your body. So now your body is sitting here showing you signs through your smell. I wear deodorant, don't get me wrong. But I'm not wearing the chemical deodorant. I use glycolic acid. And for the people, because I saw the trend of heavy-set women, bigger women talking about how glycolic acid does not work for us, baby. We can't use that. And I really wanted to comment, but I didn't, because I was like, it's not that. It's because you are filled up with toxins. And I'm not fat phobic. I'm not skinny. I know plenty of people that are on the heavy side that are still healthier than the majority of the people that are small. I'm not small, but I do understand the concept of detoxing, releasing. And if you are smelling, that means that you have something inside of your body that needs to be released. And so thinking about the fact that they can't use a natural deodorant, which glycolic acid comes from cane sugar. If you cannot use a natural deodorant, if you can't use limes, that's simple. Lemon and lime is a natural deodorant. That means you have something in your body that is making you smell like that. It's deeper than just, oh, it's not working. No, honey, you have something in you that is blocking your lymphatic system from releasing the natural odor that you should have. Instead, you have something that is blocking your pores and making you smell like sweat and stank. You said, do plants even have enough nutrients to sustain us? I stopped eating pig now. I can tell. Plants do. Plants can give you everything that you need. We have been fed this facade of the fact that we can't get all the nutrients that we need without meat and dairy. We can't get all the nutrients that we need without us taking supplements and fillers. I take no supplements. I don't take any other thing. I don't even take powders. Only powder that I do have, I have moringa and I have spirulina. If I want to add that when I make smoothies or juices or whatever, I'm not juices, what is it called? I make like puddings and applesauce and stuff like that. I have the option. If I feel like I'm getting sick, I have that as an alternative, as an option. But I do not on the regular have to take supplements for energy. I don't have to take powders for protein or energy. I don't have to add anything extra into my life. And you know why? Because I use food as my medicine. I eat all the foods that I need. I get healthy proteins from plants. I get healthy iron from plants. I get magnesium from plants. I get all of the fats, healthy fats from plants. I'm not just out here eating salads and hoping that this works. I've been doing this for 4 years. If I was malnourished, I wouldn't have made it past year 1. I've been doing the same thing for 4 years. Minus that 3-month trial period that I had where I thought I was vegan. And so if you are someone who is either trying to go plant-based, has gone plant-based and is struggling with nutrients and energy, and you are energy or nutrient deficient, or you are just sitting here trying to figure out how you can wrap your brain around a new healthy lifestyle and the concept of what actual health is, I do have a program that you can tap into. The link is in my bio. You can get a Klarna, Affirm, Afterpay. You can start today, and by 2025, you can be on your health journey, you can be healed, and you can start to have sustainable habits that will keep you in this lifestyle like it has kept me, and I will not go back. If you are at the space where you're like, I just want to try it out, I want to see, you can go and tap into my plant-based cookbook. It is only $25. You can get that plant-based cookbook, and it will support you in cooking over 20 meals that are mix and match, that will support you in cooking plant-based foods, that will allow you to see the change that plant-based can have for you. Because y'all will go and spend $25 on a singular meal full of crap that gives you no nutrients and be hungry within an hour. So why not tap into a plant-based cookbook, see how easy it is for you to cook plant-based meals. And if you are somebody who does not know how to cook, that is the book. Those are the recipes that I literally helped my best friend start cooking plant-based. My best friend wasn't even cooking before she went plant-based. She didn't even know how. She was in the kitchen barely knowing how to boil water for noodles. She was in the kitchen barely being able to cook toast without burning it. She was that person. Now she's cooking full-on meals. She's cooking cobblers. She's cooking bread. She's sitting here making meals for her and her husband. This is the things that I teach you in our program. If you tap into the program, you get to make plant-based meals. You have access to me. I show you how. We have workshops that I show you how to cook. If you don't know how to cook, support you in getting rid of all the food that is in your pantry that's not supporting you, and start to establish a healthier lifestyle with the products that you use, making your own medicine, making your sustainable products with your toothpaste, your mouthwash, your body wash. Showing you how easy it is to completely shift your health outside of Western medicine and how you can heal. Because Western medicine cannot guarantee you healing. They keep telling you to manage a disease. They keep telling you to manage this, do this, X, Y, and Z. But they never go to you and say, if you start changing your habits, you can heal this and you don't have to deal with it anymore. You won't have to come back to your heart doctor. You won't have to come back to your diabetes medicine. You won't need insulin anymore. You won't be insulin resistant. You won't have a painful menstrual cycle. Medicine only manages, and managing something is keeping it alive inside of your body. Do you want to keep diabetes and insulin resistance alive for the rest of your life? Do you want to keep fibroids and cysts alive the rest of your life? Do you want to have to keep taking birth control so that you can regulate your period, which is not regulating it? All it's doing is just causing more hormonal imbalances. I'm speaking as somebody who was on birth control for a year. I was on birth control for... Stop now. Get up there and stop. Up there. And stop. Nobody's home. She keeps thinking somebody's home. She's like, open the door so I can go. Realize the fact that there is no managing. You're just keeping it alive. Do you want to keep sitting here keeping something alive that is slowly unaliving you? Because that's all it's doing. You're keeping the disease alive so it can take you from this earth. Your body is a healing vessel. You are able to heal. So do you know how to help your body heal, or are you going to keep poisoning yourself? Are you going to keep doing the same thing that has led generation after generation in your family, having obesity, having diabetes, having insulin resistance, having fibroids, having cysts, having PCOS? How are you going to support your body? How are you going to shift your health? It all starts with the actions that you take, the habits that you have. Why do you think I'm telling you the world has shifted and it's time for you to shift along with it? Because if you make changes now, like I said, and you start and tap into that program before 2025, you won't be these people that are left behind sitting here trying to scramble and get themselves together. You won't be sitting here worrying about, oh my goodness, all food is GMO now because they stopped giving us real meat because now they've outlawed us having real meat. You won't be sitting here poisoning yourself with these foods, not realizing that all fast food has been GMO since they allowed it in 2023. All of your fast food is legally allowed to be GMO and they don't have to tell you. When you tap into the fact that you're not focusing in on your health, but you have put it on a back burner so that you can fill your stomach every single day instead of fueling your body, you'll realize you have never been taking care of your body. And you realize the fact that these companies have profited off of you not realizing how to take care of your body. They've profited off of you being told by these doctors in this medical industry that it runs in your family. So this is something that you have to watch. If you do not know this and you didn't know this fact, this is something that I'm going to leave you with before we take questions and we end. The whole dairy industry and how they started pushing dairy was backed by the fact that the government started paying farmers to produce more milk because there was a good way for them to create profit for the people that are overseas that were fighting in World War, that were fighting the World War or whatever. The Civil War, no, World War. I'm getting them confused. World War, excuse me. They were fighting the World War and they knew that they couldn't take food. They couldn't take meat because it would not last long. So what could they do? They made powdered milk. They started pushing powdered milk. They started making a profit, the dairy farmers, off of powdered milk. Once they started making this profit, they realized the profit margin and how once the World War ended, they weren't going to make enough money. So what did they do? They started marketing to the mother. This is what you give your kids to give them protein. This is what you give your family so that you don't have to cook and you don't have to do all this. And this will be an easier way for you to make milk and you don't have to go milk the cows anymore because you have your powdered milk. Just mix it with water. They weren't making enough profit because the mothers weren't believing it. They were saying, I'm fine doing what I'm doing. And so you said you just tried to purchase the book and it wouldn't let you. Which book were you trying to purchase? Hold on, I'll fix that in a minute, in just a second. Let me make this point, so I'll leave you with this and then we'll answer the questions. Understand the fact that they marketed to them and it wasn't working. So what did they do? They amped up the marketing. And how did they fix the issue of the mothers weren't believing them? The same people that paid the farmers to produce more, they paid these people to sit here and go, oh, you know what? A doctor backed it. They paid these doctors. They said, hey, how much for an incentive for you to put on here? This is doctor approved, verified by this doctor. Doctor said, you pay me enough, I'll go ahead and I'll back it. And guess what? To this day, what do they use in these studies? That doctor backing. They didn't need to pay anybody else. They just had to pay those few to say, this was approved by Dr. blah, blah, blah. They still use that to this day. To this day. And this is where you get this food pyramid, this My Plate. This is where you get this whole thing of them sitting here telling you, yes, this is what you need to do for your child. This is why this government meal that they provide to your child if they go to public school is exactly what they have to be provided with different types of milk alternatives, dairy and cheeses and other things. And they have to have this twice a day. If you're not giving this to your child, they're going to be malnourished. That same doctor backing is still to this day being used. And that was all the way, I think, in World War I, because I don't think it was World War II. So really sit here and digest how long this has been brewing and how long our world has needed to shift and how long we've needed to really sit back and step away from them. And yet we haven't. And now is the time, because they have literally the information, the agenda of 2030 right here in front of your face. to let you know where we are going with our health, to let you know they are banking on making $1 trillion profit off of us being obese and diabetic by 2030. And they didn't make it a crisis because that's a profit margin. That dairy makes you inflamed, which leads to obesity. The things that you eat every single day spikes your sugar, spikes your insulin. That makes you insulin resistant. Come on, get on tea. It says you set that cookbook link. Hold on, let me see. Let me see if it's... Is it broken on my link tree? Like, can you get to it? Can you get to it? And then, or if you're still in here, can you get to it? Like, click it, or it won't even let you click it? Just so I have an FYI, if it's the link to buy, or if it's the link, is it the link to get to the landing page to show you all what you get in the cookbook? If you have any questions while you're in here now, please ask all of your questions. If you have any questions that you don't want to, you can click it. Does it bring you to the landing page to go buy, or it won't even go there? Because sometimes the link won't let you click for whatever reason, or it won't open, rather. It'll let you click, but it won't open. I've had that issue with some people. Does it go to the landing page? Let me click it and try. I know every time I go from my end, though, it lets me click it. So I don't even know why I'm clicking it. But let me try. Let me try and see what it does. If you have any questions that you're in here, please drop your questions down in the comments. I will answer any questions that you have. And if you have any questions that you don't feel comfortable, okay, it won't open. If you don't feel comfortable asking here on live, you can always DM me and I will answer your DMs to the best of ability that I have, far as pertaining of the information that I can give you when I have. And if you're asking me about herbs, I always say this: if you are asking about herbs and you are not eating correctly, I will not recommend any herbs to you until you start changing your lifestyle, because you have to understand that you cannot sit here and take an herb and expect it to be as potent as you need it and to support you the way that you need to if you're not eating correctly. Oh, okay, let me see. I wonder why it's not opening. Let me go on Canva. But you have to understand that stevia is okay. Is that a sugar alternative? Is stevia a sugar alternative? Okay, it's opening on my end. Can you try and click it one more time? Is your name Tariana or Tarian? I don't know how to say it. I don't want to say your name wrong. But could you try clicking again and see if it works? Sometimes. One more time for me. If not, I might have to take it down. Please, thank you so much and let me know. You say yes, it's supposed to be a natural, but I don't know. Okay, let me look it up because I'm pretty sure I think I know what you're talking about. I think I know what you're talking about. Interesting that it's, oh wait, is it, let me see. I don't know, it's banned here, so that kind of makes me like, I wonder why. Because even though it says that it may cause cancer, if it's a actual natural sugar, what is it derived? Oh, so stevia is a plant. I didn't know stevia was a plant. When I click it on by now, it says the link is no longer active. Oh, okay, so the link. It clicks for me. This is insane. Is it the bottom link that's not working? The bottom link. Okay, so the top link works, but the bottom link doesn't work. I see. I didn't fix the bottom link. I fixed the top link, but I didn't fix the bottom link because I had somebody who told me that issue a while ago. And I thought I had fixed both links, but I guess I did it. Hold on, let me edit it really fast and fix that link for you, and then I'll get it back up. Okay, I see, because that's why I came in here and I told them that it was fixed, and I guess I didn't hit the bottom link to fix it because I think they were two different links. Beforehand, I had switched it. Okay, let me see if that works. But yeah, stevia, it comes from the plant. I don't know exactly which brand. I would make sure, I would make sure that it is correctly extracted and they actually use purely just the plant and it's not a cut sugar or anything like that. But far as from what I've seen and what I know, it seems like one of those things where all sugar can cause cancer if you eat too much, if that makes sense. And the US loves anything that can actually have health benefits to ban it. And so, yeah, it says it's a plant, and I see the plant here. And so that's why, because like cane sugar, for instance, like I was talking about earlier, cane sugar, when you get the extraction of cane sugar, that can be too much sugar too. I know when I was eating a whole lot of cane sugar, it can cause you to have inflammation, like any sugar, anything that you overconsume can cause inflammation. And so, for instance, their study of how stevia can cause cancer was probably from somebody consuming too much stevia and them not regulating it enough. So that's the reason why they banned it in the US, because they can't give you the amount of how they need to throw off your chemical balance and make you crave more sugar. They couldn't give you the, let's say, 40 grams of sugar in it, because then it automatically links you to having cancer. So they couldn't make it as sweet as they would like to make it, and so they just ban it. Like, that's kind of my mindset. I'm not saying that that's the actual fact, but from their past, of what they have in their past history, that's kind of where I'm leaning to understanding of why they would ban something that's natural. Honey is always better. Agave is way better than you using any type of like sugar. Thanks for the gift. Because from my experience, even though agave can be dangerous when you overusing it, because they talk about the overconsumption, if you were using agave correctly, you don't need that much agave. First of all, agave is super, super sweet. It's way sweeter than honey. And so if you use, like, for instance, I probably use about this much honey in like a thing of tea. So I'll make like a larger thing of tea. I'll use this. Maple syrup is amazing. Actual natural maple syrup. I'll use about that much. Hold on. It's asking me to verify myself. 1 second, y'all. I use about that much of honey. I'll use like that much of honey. I'll use a sliver, a little coating on top of me using agave. Boom. Agave is amazing. It's super, super sweet. You don't need a lot. It's good for you to, I like to combine both honey and agave for different things. I use different things because like coconut sugar, I use, what is it called? Cane sugar still. It's just a matter of making sure you're not using too much of the processed sugar. Because honey's natural, agave is natural. These are natural sugars. The processed sugars, regardless if it's just white sugar or brown sugar, cane sugar, or the stevia, it's still processed. So it can, it can cause inflammation. Any sugar, too much, can cause inflammation. And so, unless it's the natural sugar that comes from fruits. So you just have to make sure that you are using it correctly. And so these are the things that I teach you in my program. This is what I show you in the program. For anybody that's interested, you can get it with Klarna Farmer Afterpay. Like I said, that is an investment for yourself because you're getting full access to me. You're getting that accountability and you're getting that support walk through all the way through the 12 weeks. So that by the end of it, questions like these will be completely answered. You will have sustainable products. You'll have sustainable lifestyle habits. And on top of that, you'll know how to cook plant-based. We have different workshops through there. You'll make your medicine. You'll make your different types of foods. Obviously, you'll get the cookbook with it. And you will also be able to sit there and by the end of it, know how to support your body in healing so you don't have to go back. You'll know how to cleanse. You'll know how to detox. You will learn everything that I teach you broken down in those 12 weeks. Everything that I have listed on there, far as like my Purge the Poison, my cookbook, my detox cleansing, all of that, all of those guides, you get that with me, access to me, one-on-ones, and you get to have workshops with me, and we go through this educational side that I have that's with that, because I do have a educational side. I have a whole system that you can go through by yourself and to educate yourself if that's what you desire. If you like self-studies, if you were one of those who, even if you didn't go to school, but you were one of those who could do better by themselves rather than a group, it will support you. Or if you just tap into the program and that's not necessarily your style, you are more of like, give me assignment, show me how to do this, let's do this and work together weekly basis and like come together, then that's something I can support you with. There's different learning aspects to everyone. So this program is tailored to support you all the way around. especially if you were going through diabetes and insulin resistance. That's where we're shifting and where we're tailoring to. In my Bloom to Thrive program, that's what I'm talking about. My Thrive as a CEO is more focused on stress. If you are, even if you're not a CEO necessarily, that's just the name of it. If you are a hardworking woman, if you are overworked, stressed out, and you feel like not only can you not support your body, but you also have so many other people depending on you that you can't focus in, that program will help you lower your stress, manage your time, manage your health, and to get you back on track so that you can deal with your lifestyle and still be thriving in your business and what you're doing with yourself right now currently. Because a lot of people are working higher up jobs, they're working corporate jobs, they're high earning women especially, and they're overweight, they're diabetic, they are sitting here dealing with painful menstrual cycles, PCOS and fibroids, and still having to manage everything with their life. And so that program will support you with, just like the Bloom to Thrive, but dealing with the aspect of, you are a high earning woman, you have all these milestones that you want to hit and you have to hit, and you need to be alive and you need to be well to be doing that. Like, that's just one of the things that, like, we go through that to understand. Like, you have to get in the mindset of understanding. And also in our programs, we do have master classes. I forgot to say that too. We do have master classes that one of them you will learn is our I forgot exactly what it's called off the top of my head. I have to, hold on, let me go through my programs. I forgot what it's called off the top of my head, and when I get to it, because it's a cute little name. It's our life masterclass is what it is. It's living intentionally, flowing energetically. It's going to get you in the mindset of you understanding how to live intentionally with the things that you do, the habits that you have, the foods that you eat, and then flow energetically into the new lifestyle and the habits that you have so you don't feel stressed out afterwards. That's one of the things that we go through. That's one of the masterclasses that we have. We will also have another class of us going through the workshop of you learning how to make your own products. There's another one that I'm thinking of off the top of my head, but there's quite a few different master classes. I'm trying to get to these questions too. You said it's a plant. I don't know if I can trust it. I like having matcha in my oat milk. Okay, yeah. I don't think it would be harmful. I do have, like, there's monk fruit sugar. There's a lot of other sugars that if you are worried about stevia, you don't necessarily use it. You could try something else. For the matcha, I'm going to give you a little tidbit, because these are the things that, like, I teach you. You have to be careful with your matcha, because they have found out that, like, matcha, majority of them that come from China have heavy metals from their mining and, like, their extraction process. So you have to be very, very, very careful. Very careful. I found that out last year, and I was drinking matcha. My best friend was heavily on drinking her matcha. So even if you are still consuming and you're like, well, I'm going to keep drinking it because you love it, and I know there's plenty of things that you love, just learn how to cleanse it and detox it on a regular so you aren't heavy loaded with heavy metals, just to make sure. She said, okay, so Tarian or Tarion, I don't know how to say your name. Did you click it and did it work? I don't know if you're still in here, but did you click it and did it work? I answered your question about maple syrup. She said, cool, I'll definitely sign up when you can. Okay, that's I'd love to hear from you if you have any questions or any concerns. Please DM me. She said you want to try it now. Okay, yes, I did re-upload the link. Please go try it and let me know. Like I said, you can get everything I have, from my $25 cookbook to my 11 Purge the Poison ebook, all the way up to my highest paid programs. You can get it with Klarna Affirm or Afterpay. People are putting clothes and food on Klarna Affirm and Afterpay. This is something that literally would change your life, and it will change you for the better. And I'm saying this as somebody who completely changed my life, and I'm showing you exactly how I did it, without all the stumbling blocks, without all the education that you have to learn for years on end, because I've been educating myself way before I even realized I was going to go plant-based. I told you one of the things that I was teaching you about the natural artificial flavors versus natural flavors, I started learning about that in middle school. Now in 2020, when I was in 2020 and learning all that stuff while we were stuck at home, it added on. By 2021, I was like, you know what? I'm done. Like, I'm not going to keep eating this food and not knowing what I'm doing to my body, and started to shift. And I see the progress and I see the results. And now here I am 4 years into it, and I will not go back to eating what I was. I will not go back at all. Not a single bit. But it's all the matter of fact of knowing what you're doing to your body, how you can shift your health, and wanting that for yourself, because you have to want it. I can't want it for you. I can't motivate you. Like, I can't sit here and stand behind you and go. You have to want to do this for yourself. Even if you don't want to necessarily do the self-study all on your own, You still have to have the basis of, I want to change, I want to shift my health, and I want to support my body. And so I'm going to do X, Y, and Z in order for me to shift and to help my body. You have to want it for yourself. If you want that for yourself, you're going to tap into the help and the education that you have at your disposal right here, right now. Thank you for the follows. Everybody who has followed this live, all the gifts that you have given me, thank you so, so much. I still don't know how to pronounce your name. Is it Terrian or Terrion? How's the link? Did it work? Because if it's not, I'm really going to have to figure out why it's not working, because it wasn't working like I said beforehand, and I wouldn't understand. It worked. Okay, good. I'm so happy, so glad. Okay, I'm going to get you that book. I'm going to get that over to you in just a minute. I'm literally looking at it and doing it right now, so I do not forget. Okay. But if you don't have any more questions for the people that are in here, please. Oh, you are so welcome. Please let me know if anybody has any questions in here before I hop off. My dog is worrying me. I'm going to try to do it before I have to take, because I feel like I have to take her to POTTY, and that's the reason why she's bothering me. But yes, as soon as that comes through, I will get that over to you. And anybody else that taps into the ebook today, as soon as you tap in and I see that come through, it will come directly to you, because that flow desk is literally, I have flow desk. That flow desk task is literally being created right now, because I was worried about the link not working, so I didn't want to start a task until I fixed the link. And now that we fixed it, there we go. Okay, so I'm not seeing any more questions for the people that have any questions. Wait, this one I might have actually already started a workflow. I might already did it. I might have been ahead of the game. I forget. I do it so much in advance, then I forget, and then it's probably already been sending out, and I think I did. Oh no, that's for the purge the poison. Okay, because I was like, wait a minute. I don't want to pause it. Unpause it. Okay. I'm not seeing any questions, so you guys don't have any more questions. Like I said, if you're not comfortable asking the question while you're here on live, you can always DM me, and my DMs are always open. Follow me on my Instagram, my Facebook, my YouTube. Subscribe if you have not already. We don't know what the state of TikTok is. I have not heard anything else about them taking it away, but like they'll sit there and not say anything, and then boom, it'll be gone. So make sure you have me somewhere else. If you're not on my email list, get on my email list. You'll know when I'll be live, where I'll be live. And like I said, all of my past lives are posted on YouTube. So if you are ready to tap into anything and you're trying to figure out how you get started, maybe you don't have the funds today, maybe you don't necessarily have it today, but you are ready to invest and you are ready to change, but you want to start changing today and you're waiting for payday, you can get started just with all the free stuff that I give you, all the free tips, all the free information. But I'm not saying any more questions, like I said, so I guess I'm going to hop off now and fix this flow desk so it will send it out to the people who sign up for my, or not sign up, but for the people who tap into that Purge the Poison cookbook. Get that cookbook, start cooking your plant-based meals today. Shift your health, start seeing how you can shift your health easily. I hope everybody has an amazing rest of their day. And if any of my links do not work and you see that and you are sitting here like, well, dang it, it didn't work. Don't just sit there and be like, dang, it didn't work and click off. Please DM me and I will send you a link directly and fix the link. Thank you so much for everybody who has sent gifts, who has liked this, who has commented. I really appreciate it. You help the live grow. You help me grow. You help me get this message out. You help me get this word out. Even with you interacting with my TikToks that I post, because this information is vital. It's crucial. I'm not here to just sell you something just to make money and make profit. I'm here to get you the information that you need so that you can spread the word too. Because once you start to master it like I have and you become a actual mastery at this, you actually get mastery at this, you can show your family, you can show your kids for the future generations. And we will start to raise healthier generations and we'll stop poisoning each other with the foods that we're eating. These companies will stop making profit off of poisoning us because we don't deserve to be treated like a dollar sign. So I hope everybody has an amazing rest of their Sunday. And I hope that you start your week off right, get that cookbook and start your week off right with the foods that you consume. Start your week off right. Just go get the Purge the Poison ebook. It's $11. Learn how it's easy for you to shift your health. And this whole construct that you have of healthy is not healthy. It's struggle. The diet culture is struggle. It's not healthy. So I hope all is well. And if you missed this live and you want to catch it again, it will be posted on YouTube sometime this week. I hope everybody has an amazing rest of their day.